is the Glass Cannon Network.
You're having fun with your friends and you're rolling dice. You're playing make-believe and it's really nice. Side Quest Side Sesh. That's the name of this show. 8 years ago today, on June 15th, 2015, the Glass Cannon podcast was born. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 dropped 8 years ago today. 8 years! So many memories of the trials and tribulations of building a multimedia empire. Jared, what are some of your favorite memories of the last 8 years?
I've never listened to the show.
At a bit of a disadvantage never having heard the show, but
I hear it's great. I hear there's a lot. You guys had a lot of fun times on it, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Did your room get larger or did you get smaller?
I'm slowly,
or maybe your microphone tripled in size.
I think that's what it is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Joe had to point out to me the other day that this was airing on our 8-year anniversary. And how appropriate, since Side Quest Side Sesh is such a unique part of the network's history. Now, I think a lot of people watching may know, but I'm sure there's plenty of people amongst the 5,000 watching this live that don't know that Side Quest Side Sesh began because of COVID. When we had to shut down our studio, I was like, I don't want to record remotely. We've never recorded remotely before. I don't want it to sound any different from the show we did. I'm sure this COVID thing will boil over for after a couple of weeks, but I don't want to lose content. Let's just let's do like a side session or something. A side quest side. And that's what happened. We played for 37 weeks. I think we took 1 week off, which was the first week we ever missed. At that point, we were going for about 5 years because I had extensive liver damage from an allergy to antibiotic, and I couldn't walk, let alone sit for a couple hours. But that was Side Quest Side Sesh
from old man Billy Rubens.
I was very yellow.
Billy Rubens decided to leave your house.
Old
Came
Billy
down
Rubin.
the old chimney and
Watch those old videos. I'm so yellow and my eyes are yellow. It was just disgusting. But,
you looked very, very sick.
I was very, very ill, and I wasn't allowed to drink, and I lost a lot of weight, but it wasn't worth it. But now we're back. We're obviously it's not the height of the beginning of a new pandemic or anything, but this is a great time for us because we are on the precipice of launching the new Glass Cannon podcast, and to stem the tide between now and then, why not bring back Side Quest Side Sesh?
Why not?
Why not?
why not indeed?
So I'm pretty excited. And tonight we're actually going to just build characters because I've spoken to some of you a little bit about this, others not really at all. And so some people are coming in with zero knowledge. Some people are coming in with slightly more than zero. But I thought that it would be great to actually build characters together live and create this party together, because normally you just kind of show up with characters. And there was one time when there was 3 clerics. I just remembered. Someone reminded me there's 3 clerics in a brawler because you guys didn't talk beforehand.
Good times.
Good times.
It was the most fun.
I'm gonna play the same thing as whatever Joe plays.
Oh, real funny, Logan.
And then every time I hit and he doesn't, I'll be like, "This is how you do that." Like,
So we just came up with this idea to play Side Quest Side Sesh like a couple days ago, like literally a couple days ago. And Troy was like, "Come to the session with nothing, and let's just relax and have fun, and we'll make some characters, and we'll just dive in." And I said, "Okay." So I didn't do anything. And we're in the pre-show, and Matthew, it's on like his 2nd level skill feats already. He's just like thinking about, and he's like, oh, he just keeps going like this to himself. I love my character. Yeah. Like, what is going on here?
Outside of the show, Matthew showed me a notebook with a backstory in it, and it's like, It's like 36 pages, like like small writing.
Very small. Like crib sheet writing. To be fair, I didn't know everyone didn't get this email, but Troy did reach out, and we had it back and forth. So there was
so he mentioned 2 classes of people earlier, about 3 minutes ago.
Yes.
You were in the class of people that were spoken to about what to prepare for this session.
I mean, I don't want to put a name on it, but the superior class.
Right.
I mean, that's how it feels. That's how it feels.
The haves and the have-nots.
Right.
The elites.
I highly suggest, if you haven't listened to this, go back and listen. It is, to this day, some of my favorite content we ever did. It's definitely a time capsule of a certain time, not only in our lives, but in the world. But it's not necessary for listening to what we're going to do now for the next X amount of weeks.
Yeah, like we said, we're building characters.
Yeah, so. This is all. There is a continuity thread, but you need not have listened to listen tonight. However, there will be spoilers. We're not going to hide spoilers. I almost feel like I should start with a little spoiler because it'll catch up Jared as well as some of the people listening. But we basically ran through, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, just don't listen for the next 5 minutes. We basically ran through 3 Pathfinder First Edition modules. We did Feast of Ravenmore,
which was awesome.
Which we did. It was fantastic. We did Midnight Mirror, and then we did Carrion Hill, I believe it was called. And now Feast at Ravenmore had a bunch of ne'er-do-wells go into this backwoods town, and there was something
tax collectors.
That's right. You were trying to like pick up a debt or something, right? Because they hadn't paid their taxes in a while.
Yeah. The tax collector that went to pick up the debt that they had not been paying their taxes was never heard from again, like disappeared.
Right. That's
so
what it
we
was.
were now going in the wake as the second attempt to collect taxes from this town.
And very quickly, it goes from like, wow, this town is a little out of date to there is something horribly wrong in this town. And
it turned Wicker Man in a real quick minute.
Yeah, it turns very Wicker Man. But you are able to get out of there with some riches, and the place fucking burns to the ground. So then heroes.
Then COVID didn't end.
Yep. And we're like, let's do another.
We were unable to stop the spread of COVID through our efforts.
Try as we might. Matthew did not find it.
By the way, that's a spoiler for COVID. That's a spoiler for COVID.
COVID spoilers will abound here. We then play the Midnight Mirror, which saw you going into Nidal, which is an area of Galarian that is almost completely ruled by Zon-Kuthon worshippers, an evil deity. So it's a dark place, and you go to
Transylvania.
Yeah, it's Transylvania, right?
Yeah.
And so you go there, and there's this manor house there called the Baroys, and they've been around for a long, long time. And I'm trying to think of what the hook was. You were trying to do you remember what it was? You were trying to figure out that they had a son.
We were sent by the countess. I think they were countess. We were sent by the countess's father.
The countess's father
to check up on her because her letters had gotten weird.
Right. She married, right? Like she married into the family, and then her letters got weird. And so, he sent us to investigate, and we found out there was a whole bunch of appalling shit going on in the town.
Yeah, a lot of dark stuff going on. That was all because the Baron made a deal with this entity known as a Shay, and went back on the deal, and it trapped the Shay in. The Shay was trapped inside of this mirror, the Midnight Mirror, and it was basically the Shadow Plane was on the other side of that mirror, and he basically said, "Give me the chance to be the Baron, and I'll help you get out of the mirror." And then he reneged on the deal, and the Shay was trapped in there. Well, you have to go into the mirror at some point, and the party goes in there. You fight him, and he ends up getting out, capturing you all, and beheading you, with the exception of Skid's character, Karazor. Karazor escapes.
For one very important reason. Skid, are we allowed to spoil this? Or
are we talking about the person who tells him? Are you talking about Major Domo?
No, I'm talking about the thing that happened to Skid's character very early on in the very first part of the module.
Oh, that's right. He got lycanthropy.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
He's a werebear.
Right. So right before everyone was captured, he goes howling at the moon and they're like, get over here. They capture the rest of them. But Skid had ran off to turn into a werewolf. He comes to, he's gone. He wanders into town and watches them all get beheaded. And then somebody comes over and is like, you need to get out of here. And it's the major domo of it's a whole thing. You got to watch it. Anyways, Karazor escapes. So part 3 picks up with a whole new party trying to combat this growing evil somewhere in Ustalav. And that ends in a TPK. But we end that story with a flashback to Karazor, who is now, it seems like he's been on the run for a while because the Shay has now killed the Baron and the Baroness, and he wants to try and find the children that are the rightful heirs to eliminate them, and Karazor is a loose end as well. So Karazor is living on the run. He gets a letter under his door at the inn saying, come meet us. We have some information that might be interesting to you, and come to find out it's the Shay's brother and niece. They've spirited away the 2 boys that are the rightful heirs to the throne of Karpad, and they want Karazor to help them combat the Shay by the name of Nikesor, and they have one new ally, and a figure steps forward, and it's the Crystal Ghost. But the Crystal Ghost died in the gallows. Anyways, that's the big cliffhanger. But tonight,
I was with you for a while. I was with you for a while, and then a Crystal Ghost came up, and I was lost.
Listen, the Crystal Ghost is a true mystery. Tales of her legendary exploits.
It was the dumbest thing. Like, of all the silly things that you could do. That, by the way, we're not intended to be silly. Like, we're intended to be like played straight. We're like, oh, God.
We had set out to play it straight, but Matthew had played a vigilante character who had a secret identity. It was just
but like in a party of 4 that was traveling for like weeks and weeks together on the road. And it became, and she would like leave the campfire and come back as the other character. We'd be like, where have you been? And we'd all like play it up. Like,
where's the professor? Yeah, they were willfully ignorant of their alter ego.
You know, and occasionally the three characters would be like, isn't it weird that the Crystal Ghost and the professor are never here at the same time? And then we'd come up with all these explanations for it anyway. It's fucking amazing.
It's a weird time.
I love it.
I have a picture that our friend of the show, a renowned comic artist David Lopez, did of the original crew.
Oh yeah,
look at that! I forgot about that. Oh,
that's
right.
That's gorgeous.
Oh, so the
Really
Crystal
cool.
Ghost is the one in red there, and then Karazor is that knoll in the back, and then
the Knoll Fighter.
Is that like a bat creature? What the hell is that? I can't.
That's Grant's Hobgoblin.
That's
Oh,
Grant
that's
was a
the
hobgoblin.
Right.
And wait, you, Joe, were
I was a skin changer. I was a werebat skin changer.
werebat skin changer. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is phenomenal. I forgot
Really,
about that.
really cool. That was really
gorgeous.
nice of him to do that.
If you
Let's
wanna-
get some
If
new
you want to go, you want one snippet of side quest that I feel like captures side quest pretty well. Just I don't know what the actual episode is, but there's an animatic of it of Karazor trying to explain death to a child.
who spent his life on the Shadow Plane.
It's truly spectacular.
Yeah.
It really
and I
is.
found when I was Googling the other thing, I did see, to talk about the werebear thing, someone on Reddit, I'm not sure who, did this.
In the bear now. Look at this, said Karazor.
Wait, let me just, if I can. He's a knoll that transforms into a bear.
Exactly. So you're catching up.
Cool. Yeah, it's not much of a change, is it?
It was a very slight
Extreme.
adjustment.
Is he a bear now?
No, I think he's
can't-
been cured.
I think his posture's just different.
Yeah, his legs change, I think, is the only thing.
Well, the point is, everyone is dead. Every adventurer, with the exception of Karazor, died. Now, there is a Crystal Ghost, but is it the same one? You saw her head get cut off. Who knows?
But we know
Perhaps.
who the Crystal Ghost is, right?
You know you saw the Crystal Ghost's head
But we know
separated
who
from
the
her
new
body.
Crystal Ghost is, right?
No, do you?
No.
You did see a hand of pick up the mask off the decapitated head and put it on. Is that the same person?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out. One thing we're going to be doing tonight, and we're going to be doing throughout all of Quest Side Sesh, is we are going to be experimenting with Foundry Virtual Tabletop. And we're going to be jumping right into it tonight by building characters on Foundry. I think this is a great way to play around with it. I myself have been playing with it for the past... feels like 5-6 months, but really getting into it over the past couple months. And so we want to use this opportunity to really get it into our bones. So let's just jump right in. And you know what? Let's just start with Skid. We'll start with Skid in terms of, we're going to do a little round robin here. But, obviously you guys haven't talked to each other. But Skid, do you have any idea sort of what, class or ancestry?
I'm pretty sure. I think I've narrowed it down.
I'm not saying you have dibs, but what were you thinking?
I was thinking that I would take up the mantle of Karazor once more. So
yes! Oh man, did not see that coming.
So you're going Knoll fighter.
Great Knoll fighter.
Great Knoll
Ancestry
fighter.
Knoll, Heritage Great Knoll fighter.
Oh, that's
what does
cool.
that mean? What does that mean?
Great Knoll, it's sort of statistically, it's the equivalent of an orc, I think.
Sweet.
You start with 10 HP per level, and I think you get a bite attack as well. You're a large, powerful gnoll with tawny fur and brown spots on your hide. You gain 10 hit points from your ancestry instead of 8, and gain a +1 circumstance bonus to athletics checks to shove or trip foes.
Oh, that's cool. Were there
They
other
love shoving and tripping?
They really do, especially you. Do they have were there other Knoll options besides Great Knoll?
Yeah, there are a couple other Knoll options.
There's Grassy Knoll.
Right.
Grassy Knoll.
Is rolling Knoll?
Yeah, you get a second shooting attack if you take the Grassy Knoll option. There are a couple other ones. I can't remember.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are going to be, I'll say we're going to be building 3rd level characters for this iteration of Quest Side Sesh. I think that might be like I think you were 5th, maybe 6th when it ended last time. So
I think we were.
We can sort of justify this as I will say time has passed, and so perhaps your skills have atrophied. But I'm interested to see how he plays in 2E. So we get a Knoll fighter. Joe, Jared, Matthew. Were any of you? Did you have your heart set on fighter? Because you can still be a fighter.
I did, but I can pivot. For sure. I didn't really nail down a class, but I do think I nailed down an ancestry, which I'm really excited about. And is something I would never do. And but Quest Side Sesh is the time to experiment.
I see the look in Matthew's eyes like, he's going to say it, isn't he?
I know, that's why I'm jumping Matthew.
I
have to say it first, because he's going to take it. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm very excited. I'm going to experiment with as far as I can tell, one ancestry that comes out of this wonderful little book. The Book of the Dead.
Oh.
I'm going to play a skeleton.
Awesome.
That's a playable ancestry?
It is a playable ancestry now, and it seems really cool. And I have I really like the idea. The class can be very flexible.
Wow.
But I was thinking fighter just because I'm tired of casting. But I could play a sorcerer pretty easily.
A skeleton.
Yeah.
Skeleton sorcerer. That's awesome.
That's
awesome. Great.
Yeah, so I could go sorcerer or I can go fighter. My first draft was fighter, but I could start messing around with sorcerer. We'll see where everybody else lands.
Well, now
At third level, a skeleton sorcerer is like an unsuccessful lich. It's like
Exactly.
A minor league lich.
He's working his way up.
They're waiting to get called up to the show.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Well, I'm so interested now in who was he before?
We'll get into it in a second, because honestly, I have an idea, like a starter idea, I would love to just bounce it off you guys and get your ideas. Also, like, I would love ideas from you, Troy, for how to like connect it to the story, because the skeleton you could connect in any way, right? So like, it's kind of a fun idea.
Everyone's got one.
Yeah,
it's universal.
Well, let's round out some more ancestries and classes here. This is going faster than I thought. Matthew, do you want to wait to hear what Jared says, or do you want to jump in?
I want Jared to go first.
Okay, Jared.
No, well, I didn't have any ideas in terms of ancestry, but has anybody ever on the Glass Cannon done a summoner, a 2E summoner?
Not 2E,
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, I like summoners, so
Summoner, okay.
I think I'll be a summoner, yeah. And I get an Eidolon, and I think it's going to be a dragon, y'all.
Wow,
dragon.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta pick a real.
I have a whole idea for it.
It's like Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Lockheed.
Yes.
Lockheed, yeah.
Yeah. Lockheed Martin is going to be the name of mine, and yeah.
So what ancestry fits with a having a dragon?
I don't know. I mean, you could go kobold because they're kind of dragony people.
That's fun.
You could go. I mean, I'm just looking at all the ancestries, and part of me just wants to like be like, Shisk, y'all. I'm super into Shisks. What if I had like a very strong opinion on Konrasu? Like, some of this doesn't even feel real. I'm gonna go human.
Oh, okay.
I know it's boring. But I think
we need that. We need that bedrock, though. We need that sort of.
Wasn't the Crystal Ghost a human?
No, the Crystal Ghost. Well, she appeared human when she was the professor, or rather, adjunct instructor Maxine Vetro. She was living a lie.
She was not.
That's right.
She wasn't a full
instructor.
But no, she was a tiefling.
She was a tiefling.
That's
right on. Okay,
right.
I forgot that detail.
That's
All right,
pretty
so
cool.
Human summoner. Yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna go human. Yeah, I'm gonna go human. Okay.
The straight
Human.
man.
Yeah, I mean, or he could be, I don't know, he could be gay. It doesn't really. In fact, you know what? He's gay.
There you go.
Pride, everyone.
I think that there might be a box for that on Foundry, but we have a gay human summoner and a skeleton. What was it again? Skeleton sorcerer.
I don't know about sorcerer.
Maybe a skeleton. Well, maybe Matthew's choice will help you decide. Matthew, where's your head at?
My head is at an automaton monk.
Oh, hell yeah.
A robot monk.
Not strictly a robot. They are magical. Think like a combination robot and golem kind of. But they're
Is it
like
like
a clockwork?
Like a clockwork thing?
Sort of. They're their automatons are according to Guns and Gears. They were created by the Jiska Imperium, which is
yes. In the Mwangi.
Yeah, it's a northern Gurundi.
Gurundi, yeah.
And they were, because the civilization was turning in on itself, and there was like they're getting warlike and kind of, it wasn't looking great. So a bunch of kind of peace-minded and forward-thinking people started to, rather than make they're part of their golem armies, they created these automatons and infused their souls into them, and very few are left, but they've been around for thousands of years. So yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool. And you really feel good about monk. You want to go monk.
I feel good about monk.
Okay. So Joe, that may make you want to go caster. I have 2 martial, 2 caster, but you need not.
Yeah, I'm torn between. So let me tell you my concept, and this is what's brushed up against it. You can always go sorcerer. This is what I liked about the skeleton. It's like you could be totally flexible fighter, totally flexible sorcerer.
You'd be a skeleton cleric, but just never be able to cast healing spells because you'll die.
So basically, here's how it plays out. It's like, so here's my basic idea is like, the premise is just that the skeleton, let's put the skeleton's previous life aside, right? And I want to say it's like a humanoid, human-sized skeleton. Looks like a human skeleton. And the idea is just he's one of those skeletons that is, in the tomb, that's just in a room and just has been there for 100 years. So like, think Morrowind or Oblivion or like Dark Souls, any of these games, right? Or any basically D&D Pathfinder module with, so you have skeletal champion, skeletal archer, and obviously you can have a skeletal sorcerer. That's more boss level though. So what I was thinking is like, what about what is it like to be that guy, especially if for some reason he sparked some sort of personality and intelligence and was trapped there by some necromancer. So basically, I thought I could go like champion route, which was, like a kind of a frontline fightery type, which we could do, or I could do archer route, which would be really fun as well. Sorcerer also can be done mechanically very easily and be effective, but it doesn't. You know what? I'll do it. I'll do sorcerer, and I've got a good reason why. He'll have a really high charisma. And, the basic idea is that he's been going crazy in this tomb for all these years, like trying to talk to other skeletons that are mindless. It's just like, I'm just having such a good time with this idea.
Does he have? Do you think he has the personality and consciousness of his previous pre-skeleton life, or is this a new thing that has come up? This is
a new thing. He the way I imagine it, and they write about it a little bit in the book. It's interesting, like the way you can approach playing a skeleton. There's a lot of different ways, but they are the lowest of the low on the rung of like undead, whatever you call it,
hierarchy,
yeah, undead hierarchy. They're like the lowest of the low. They're the grunts, and a lot of times they're mindless. And if they do have some sort of, mind, it is usually infused by some sort of necromancer or something like that. And a lot of times it is in spite of their previous life. So like they don't know who they were before, but occasionally they can like grasp feelings or images or whatever. So that's how I want to play it. It's like this guy only knows this time that he was in one room for like 100 years just fighting any adventurers that came in the room. And he might have glimpses of his former life, and so that's something we could totally fill in later. But if we go sorcerer, what's going to happen is he's going to have a super high charisma. So it's kind of funny to imagine him being like super friendly and like trying to like pass the time by like, being entertaining, but it's just like he's still just trapped there. But then somehow he gets out from under the thumb of this necromancer and and could join this party. So it's cool.
And I really like that skeleton.
Well, he's just a good hang, that guy.
Really like that guy.
Right, like that's kind of what I want to be like a super. I just think it's funny to pivot in that direction. So anyway, imagine him in play. He would end up being. He's like kind of like he's masked, hooded, and kind of wrapped all of the time. Like he's kind of
so
like,
we can't tell he's a skeleton.
You couldn't tell he's a skeleton unless you got close to him or got to know him better. He just looks like an incredibly thin person.
He looks incredibly suspicious at all times, but we don't know he's a skeleton.
Exactly.
When the invisible man wraps himself up and everybody's like, why do this? Everybody pays attention to you now. It's the opposite of being invisible.
Yes, exactly.
He's the conspicuous man.
He wears gloves.
Conspicuous man.
Yeah, he wears gloves. You would have to struggle to like see that he is a skeleton. And a lot of times he's able to just divert people's attentions because of his savvy, because of his high charisma. So anyway, I like this idea.
Awesome.
I think it's awesome.
All right, so we're looking at a Gnoll fighter, a Gnoll coward, Gnoll fighter, a human summoner with a dragon eidolon, a skeleton sorcerer, and an automaton monk. Now you can, in your own time, you can go through like height, age, weight, pronouns, and ethnicity, nationality. But we should talk background, because background is what's really going to shape this beyond just your class. Matthew, I think you had a beat on something here very early on.
I found something just before we start recording. He is going to. I have a name. If you'd like to hear the name.
Whoa! Seems too early. I feel like we just started the date.
What?
Balthazar the Mild?
The Mild.
Balthazar the Mild.
and he is going to choose the barber background.
He was a barber. He was programmed to be a barber before.
No, in his back when he was flesh and blood, he was a barber, and not just someone who cut hair, but he also someone who healed the sick and was.
Oh, like a medieval barber.
Oh, okay.
With leeches and whatnot. So wait, back it up. You said in his previous, I'm thinking like SNL, isn't it Steve Martin
who's
plays?
the barber here?
Yeah,
Who's
exactly.
the barber here? More leeches.
Yeah. What you need is a good bleeding. I'm bleeding already.
I'm missing an arm. But wait, you were a human before and your soul was transplanted? Is that how it works with all automatons?
Yeah, automatons.
Automatons.
We're not clockwork. I was just looking it up. We're a combination of magic and stone. And then it's like we're fed by planar energy and et cetera, et cetera. We have
a soul.
Automaton core but our souls have been implanted in there and we don't age. So I've been around for, I'm gonna put this roughly at 1,243 years.
Oh shit! So like pre Earthfall?
Well, just post Earthfall, I believe.
Just okay.
Yeah, so we can adjust the years.
I'd like to know the exact number of years before.
I'll work on it. Yeah. For his back, my background will be barber.
Barber. Okay. Anybody else have a background that's jumping out at them? I like that Joe and Matthew's character existed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. The oldest.
A background? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm doing noble.
Right, because you were a noble before.
Yeah. Well, if you'll recall from what Karzer's backstory is, his mother is like a very successful, brutal warlord down around Geb, like down in Garund. And she was horrible, vicious, and she got very wealthy as a result of leading this band of this rampaging through the region. And so she sent her son, her eldest son, Karazor, to be educated in the finest private schools in like Absalom. So that's how he grew up. So he has little glasses and everything.
Right.
So I figured noble is the most appropriate background.
That's great. Noble, barber. Jared, you had something?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's a little boring, but I can tell you my story here. So, Eidolon contact, it just means that you are someone who is in touch with an Eidolon, which is the thing you summon as a summoner, right? So, with the dragon, it says that when dragons, like, sometimes their minds linger after they die on the astral plane. And so, my guy's story is that his grandfather slew a great red dragon. And because they killed it, that dragon was bound to their family from then on and has to serve them. And so my guy is the grandson of that guy who's not as like together as his grandfather, who was a real hero. He's kind of a jerk and a layabout, and he likes to like drink and gamble, but he can also summon a powerful evil dragon at will.
That's great. It's like a dragon version of a trust fund baby.
Yes, and he argues with the dragon. You know what I mean? Like the dragon has his shit together, but the dragon is also an evil red dragon from 50 years ago.
Is it a full size that comes up, or is an Eidolon kind of like a facsimile of the actual creature?
Velthrexenbob.
Write that down. You'll know.
Velthrexenbob has. We have limited his power on this plane so that he is not at full size. If we let him be full size, Troy, the havoc he would wreak. So we have. We keep him with our mental powers at a smaller, more manageable scope.
Velthrexenbob.
Velthrexenbob.
Velthrexenbob. Bob for sure.
I need a pencil to make sure I don't change that name every time I say it.
Troy, what year are will this take place in?
1984.
Yeah, it's 84. Platoon had just dropped at the box office. No, I'll tell you this. It's going to take place 10 years after the end of Carrion Hill.
All right.
Okay.
10 years.
So this is
Yeah, there will be 10 years that have passed.
this is the future of the timeline then. So it's probably like 4726 or something, maybe.
You know what's funny is I didn't realize this now. This is the only show that I GM that shares a universe with another show. Did you know in Strange Aeons, I once made an offhanded comment about what happened at Carrion Hill?
I do remember that.
So it does,
We didn't we like float past it on the boat or something? And they were like,
yeah.
So it was like during that marathon. I was like, oh, and so there was this huge monster that came and wiped out these town. Anyways, but now
the
this will be 10
Carrion Hill
years later.
module came out in November 2009. Doesn't that have a corresponding year in
That would
Galarian?
be 4709. So this would this would be
20
like 4719. So
4709. Hold on, I'll do the math. Because the Jiska Emporium fell in minus 2764 AR.
Who could forget the falling of the Jiska Emporium?
All right, so 4709.
So you've got to be at least like 7,000 years old or
You
something.
said 4709?
Yeah.
Minus. Sorry. Oh, okay.
Joe, while he does math, any backgrounds jumping at you?
Yeah, it took me a while, but I'm just going to pick something here because we're under time pressure. There's so many backgrounds. It's wild. I mean, you could just sit here for 2 hours just reading backgrounds. But I picked one that I think is, in a fun way, open-ended enough. Cursed. He's just cursed.
I see you're a sturdy skeleton as well, now that I look at your sheet.
Yes, a sturdy skeleton.
Cursed
I
skeleton.
figured I wanted some HP. It's an HP boost, and you get the free Die Hard feat, which is cool.
Oh,
and
sweet.
I figured I'd take because skeleton only has 6 HP for the ancestry, so I figured that would be a nice boost. And the other real option with what I'm looking at is a fodder skeleton, which the bonus that you get is a speed bonus. You get 30 feet of speed as opposed to 25 feet of speed.
You're meant to just go out there and die.
Yeah, exactly. You're about to just run it, clackety, 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 bam, and then just get killed immediately. But I actually, I don't know. Sturdy just seems smarter to me, so I'm going to take that one.
Talk to me about Cursed.
Cursed is, there is some, you are the victim of a personal or hereditary curse. Through great effort and occult study, you have learned to fend off the curse's worst effects, and by extension, you can protect yourself against other harm from magic. However, this curse still lingers over you and manifests in dangerous ways. So I figure I'll leave that kind of open-ended. It could be like role-playing related, and it can maybe be a key to what happened to him before. I think it's also kind of I see it as a curse, his awakening in his mind in this tomb, and he's trapped there. He can't even get out of this room, and for many, many, many years, I just imagine him in there with like an archer and a champion and him, and he's just like, he's the only one that would like talk, right? He couldn't get anything back from anybody. And so I think that that's part of his curse, is his awakening somehow. So anyway, I think of it that way. And then what you get out of it is you get trained in occultism, which is nice, but it's not gonna be that big of a deal. He's not an intelligence character, but he gets the warding sign reaction, which I think is really cool. Once a minute. So basically once an encounter, if he has a saving throw that he needs to make against a magical effect, he can call on the personal power, power of a personal eldritch sign of protection, and he can get an immediate +2 to the saving throw, to the triggering saving throw, or +3 if it's a curse. So, we'll see if that comes up.
Interesting.
I'm sure it will.
One more question. Matthew, did you figure out the date?
Yes. So he was 47 at the time of the fall of the Imperium. So his current age is... Oh, wait, I went away. His current age is 7,520 years old.
So he's seen some shit.
Yes.
Joe, I noticed you hadn't added your class to the sheet. Is that because you don't know what bloodline you are?
Correct. That is exactly why I can't even begin. I never thought that I'd be doing a sorcerer, so I haven't begun to look at the bloodline.
How do you, forgive me, how do you choose things like bloodline or say what kind of eidolon you have? I'm not finding it on the sheet, but I am a moron. So
well, for Joe, for example, when you drag sorcerer over to the class, it prompts you immediately which bloodline would you like to take. And I see you chose, your background is Eidolon Contact. What is that?
That just means someone who has been in contact with an eidolon. It's pretty self-explanatory. Let's see. It says, you come into contact with a disembodied being of magical essence known as an eidolon. You might have forged a powerful conduit with that eidolon. I have. Allowing you to manifest it as a summoner. Yes, that's true. But it's much more likely that you lost contact over time. No, it's not. Yeah, but then I don't know how to make it go on my sheet that I have.
So
details. Details. Did that help?
Yeah, if you go over to if you look at those menus, there's character, actions, inventory. You go all the way down to feats, you'll see that you have the Eidolon feat, gives you some information. But if you want to like choose the form of your Eidolon and whatnot, we'll get into that because certain Eidolons will have certain powers over others, right?
Right, and they have certain. You choose attacks for them, like you choose like. If their weapons work like blunt weapons, or if they work like, agile weapons and things like that. So, meaning their claws or what have you. So I just need to make some of those choices.
Yeah, we'll figure that out in 1 second. It could be that it's a secondary sheet that you get to put all that stuff on. Okay. But in the meantime, we'll start digging into ability scores and feats right after this quick break.
Welcome, scoundrels. My name is Jared Logan. I am the game master, Blades in the Dark. My favorite tabletop role-playing game, the greatest tabletop role-playing game. That sounds like a lot of hyperbole. Believe it, goddammit. This underworld exploration in a haunted steampunk city. Amazing cast, incredible actor and role-player, gaming nut. Please welcome Abu Salim, actress, role player, incredible. Someone I want on every game I play. Josephine McAdam, erudite scholar of the occult, Ross Bryant. And this game is a game about committing crimes, getting away with it, not getting caught.
If you get caught, you're not doing it right. No, that's terrible.
No, that's a good way to think of playing Blades in the Dark. You're in a haunted Victorian era city trapped inside a wall of lightning powered by demon blood.
Wow,
that's a bar. That is a bar.
Any questions?
All right. What? Anything sort of jumping out at you? Obviously, you want to. Is anyone not maxing out their key ability score?
No.
Besides Joe,
that would be contrary to the mission and spirit of Quest Side Sesh.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume you want to max it out, and obviously just guess I don't know. I remember in the past, like if you were starting first level, you build all the first level stuff, then add a level. I don't think it really matters here, but just be aware you'll get certain things at third level that you wouldn't have at first. So you might want to build from the bottom up.
Here's a question, Troy. How do we level up?
You just highlight the level and change it to whatever number you want.
That is correct.
Oh, that's easy.
That was much easier than I thought it was going to be. Well done, Foundry.
If you're doing XP, you can add in the XP. Like, now I have 999 XP. I'm one. Jared's. If you go to Jared's sheet, it's 999 out of 1,000. Then I think if I were to make it 1,000, it would jump up. But I don't want to do that and screw up what he already has so far. But yeah, you just enter it, and then it will leave all the slots empty that you need to fill. Which right now looks like ancestry feats, class feats, general feats. It's a lot of pressure to do this, but that's part of the side quest side sesh thing. Just got to start making some decisions. So talk to me if anybody has got a beat on something. Right now we can kind of go freeform here.
I can talk about feats for Balthazar the Mild.
Ooh, Balthazar the Mild had feats.
So Balthazar.
That's hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard to say. Damn it. Balthazar.
It is really hard to say. Man, you really screwed yourself there.
Even though he is a barber and peaceful, when he was getting ready to implant his soul in the automaton body, all they had left, it was kind of a chaotic time, the Imperium was falling, all they had left was a warrior automaton body. So he is a peaceful, a peace-loving, peace-seeking, and gentle soul in a warrior automaton's body. And so for my ancestry feat, I chose, of course, Energy Beam, which allows me to shoot an energy beam out of the magical crystals that are my eyes.
Oh, cool.
So you shoot lasers out of your eyes.
So I shoot lasers out of my eyes.
Just say that.
Okay.
And then I get all the monk class feats, flurry of blows, power for fist, you've got movement, all that. And then for my level 1 class feat, I chose Gorilla Stance, which
cool.
is fun. Basically, you can lower yourself to the ground and take like a gorilla walking stance, and you can do Gorilla Slams, which deal 1d8 as opposed to 1d6 damage. And they have the backswing trait, which I had to look up. That's pretty cool. If you miss, you get a +1 circumstance bonus to your next attack.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, and you get there's a bunch of other stuff too. You can climb, you can bonuses to climb, So, and I chose, I also get, because of my barber background, I get the feat Risky Surgery, which basically, if I'm going to treat wounds on someone, I can opt to deal 1d8 slashing damage to them just before applying the effects of the treat wounds. And if I do, I get a +2 circumstance bonus to my medicine check. And if I roll a success, it's an automatic crit.
Wow, that's cool.
Cool.
So if you want surgery from Balthazar, he's going to have to cut you open. But I could go for that higher tier treat wounds level, and then also I automatically crit if I roll successfully.
That's cool. Sick. And I also see you've chosen the popular monk deity of Aurori.
Yes, not listed in Guns and Gears as a frequent automaton deity, but I figured over the course of 7,000 years, his religious feelings might have shifted.
Sure.
I love that. I believe it was Jade Regent, maybe book 4. There's an NPC that is a paladin monk, like multi-class paladin monk of Aurori, and I thought her character sheet was so fucking cool. I was like, I want to build a paladin monk of Aurori. But it never happened. But anyways, that's cool.
Which one is Aurori? Which deity is that?
It's the one that's all about self-perfection.
Yeah, perfection of the body and the mind.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Very common for monks. So I wonder if you have like a blue handprint on your...
on my face.
We'll get into what you look like in episode 1, but I just see you as like a walking trash can.
I look kind of like a Cylon Centurion, if you look at the art in the book. It's like a Cylon Centurion.
So that's what you're going with?
The old school Centurions?
Kind of a combo.
I like the old school ones. The old school ones are cool, man.
I'll refer you to page 40 of Guns and Gears, and you have a picture of what the warrior automaton looks like.
It really does look like a generic Cylon Centurion. All right, so you're going that route. Well, you are just a fucking robot.
I have a soul, Troy.
I have
a magic
soul.
robot.
That's cool.
I guess I should tell you about the character. The other thing that I thought would be important is after 7,000 years, even though with the best magic and technology, things are just going to start to go haywire.
Sure.
So despite being a peace-loving healer in life, somewhere along the way, he basically became a serial killer.
What?
Okay.
That's a twist.
His vocal modulation technology doesn't allow him to ever talk in any kind of tone other than calm and mellifluous. But he's really into like ritualistically disemboweling people and then stringing their entrails up around the town as a way to perfect the civilization of Ungarian by bringing about its utter destruction.
Okay.
Awesome.
So he's working on.
So lawful evil then.
For real.
I think so.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, you've thought a lot about this.
Yeah, clearly. I mean,
you were texting me 2 days ago. This is like 2 days ago. I got a text from you about this, and that's what when one pressured. This is what happened.
Yeah, I know. Well, because I wanted to ask you something and wanted to see where you stood, and you were like, I kind of want to play this robot. I'm like, all right, play the automaton.
I kind of want to play this Cylon.
Automaton. I always want to say automaton. That's automaton. It's tough. Any other feats jumping out for Jared Joe Skid?
I'm choosing feats right now, and let's see here. I took haughty obstinacy as my ancestry feat.
Oh, that's a great one. Sir Julie had that.
Your powerful ego makes it harder for others to order you around. For my class feat, I took alacritous action, which gives my Eidolon 10 more feet of speed, and I'll be like, wait, come back, and then I can't skill feat I took dubious knowledge, or no, I got it automatically. You're a treasure trove of information, but not all of it comes from reputable sources. When you fail a recall knowledge check, you learn a bit of true knowledge and a bit of erroneous knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Has someone had that before? And then I don't know what to do for that. I have a last general. I got a bonus feat from my versatile human heritage. I took toughness because summoners are very squishy, and I don't want to get squished. I'm min-maxing basically, guys. You know me. It's not about the journey. It's about winning.
That's right.
I don't know what to take. I'm thinking about just giving him armor proficiency so that he's even less squishy. But because summoners are not trained in any armor.
Yeah. Okay. And speaking of which, I've added the Eidolon as an actor for you that you should be able to control.
Ooh.
And then you can add. Let me make sure that you own it.
I'm super happy that I picked the most complicated thing that requires Troy to do more work.
No, it's good. It's good to
actually, Troy, I think I'm going to take this feat that gives me 2 Eidolons.
Dueling dragons.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be too bad. You can add in what you want, and then you can search for its abilities and give it all its skills and whatnot. It's a little more a la carte. And if that's not right for any reason, let me know, because I don't think you're. Are you tiny?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm a medium.
Yeah, it comes up automatically as tiny. Anyways,
and I'm like a girthy medium. Like I'm like like you would be like, is that a medium? Could it be a large? You know.
All right. Well, then we'll play around with it, but I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to work. Joe, feats? I know this is tough.
Well, I picked Bloodline.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So
Angelic?
I picked the Imperial Bloodline.
Ooh.
Which basically says, and I think that this makes perfect sense. It says that there is someone in your bloodline, like in your past, was like mastered magic, was like a powerful mage, basically. And I guess that's why when resurrected or infused with the negative energy of undeath and his skeleton was raised, like he had this innate magical ability and it was just from his bloodline, but he doesn't remember who that is or what that was exactly. And cool. I think it's a fun choice, and ultimately it gives him access to the arcane spell list, like the wizard spell list, essentially, as a sorcerer, which is fun. So, cool. As opposed to like a cult. I looked at undead. I thought about taking undead. There's something really interesting about the undead bloodline, which is you get the harm spell, which as a bonus bloodline spell, which you can use to heal yourself and obviously hurt living beings. And so I was like, oh, I'll go down that road. The problem is as a sorcerer, you then just get the divine spell list. And I'm not interested in that because I want to have damaging cantrips, which are really not great on the divine spell list. So I want to be able to do damage to character, you know what I mean? Like with spells in combat and not have to use my spell slots. So I want to use cantrips, and for that I have to go arcane or occult or primal. So I'm going to go arcane. And then, all right, so I only have my ancestry feat. I haven't done my class feat yet. I'll get there. But my ancestry feat is amazing and is the exact reason why I took this class. It's something like picturing Dark Souls, picturing Elder Scrolls. My ancestry feat is collapse. Once per 10 minutes, when you're hit by a crit, you can collapse into a pile of bones and just take normal damage. And then, it reduces to normal damage, and then as an action, you reassemble the next round.
That's awesome.
That's really
like that is amazing.
It's pure comedy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is what I pictured when I saw a skeleton could be an ancestry. I was like, I wonder if, like, what happens if what happens when you even get to 0? That's a cool thing. I'll say that really quick too. Is like,
oh yeah,
all the rules are the same as everybody else, except you are immune to death effects. So, like, you can't die from, like, Phantasmal Killer. Like, you can take the damage from it, but you can't instantly die. Like, death effect spells will not instantly kill you. However, if you are knocked down below 0, like, just like everybody else, what it says is where other people have a life force, and it might be organs, it might be blood, or it just might be the positive energy of life within them, is strained and pulled to the point of breaking, and then that's when you would permanently die. With a skeleton, you have the same sort of need for your negative energy. The negative energy that ties you together is being strained and ripped and about to be broken, and you'll no longer be animated. You no longer will be able to be an undead. You become just inert. An object once again, if you go below dying 4. But in this case, dying 5, because I have the die hard feat.
The fact that you even can do that is different than basic skeletons, because I think all undead, when they hit 0, just
and it's clear on that. It's like you are not a basic skeleton like a monster skeleton. Like there are major differences. Like I was like, whoa, you know what'd be so cool to be immune to anything with a fortitude save, and it just says pretty clearly early on, it's like you get a +1 bonus to saves against poison and disease. I was like, oh, so I'm not immune. Okay, noted. You basic. So anyway, I just like that collapse feat a lot. I thought that was really cool.
That's fun. That fits the side quest side sesh feel.
Yeah, especially because I feel like this character is going to be, the epitome of a glass cannon, because I can't see, like, sorcerer proficiencies are pretty bad, and I can't see him having any kind of respectable AC. Like, he's going to have to stay away from getting hit, and if he gets hit, he's going to be in trouble. So I like that feat will mitigate a crit against him, which is good, but...
Skid, any feats jumping out?
Yeah, so... As a fighter at 3rd level, I have bravery, so that boosts my will saves. For my ancestry feat, I took a sensitive nose, which gives me imprecise scent with a range of 30 feet, which is potentially pretty cool. And for class feats, I took power attack. That just seems like a must. which I don't think I haven't had it in second edition at this point. It operates a little bit differently. It's like it's a 2-action attack. If it hits, then you just get an additional damage die of the weapon. So that's pretty cool. And I took Exacting Strike, which is
I love that feat. That's what I had in my test build. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's really cool. So if you take an attack and miss, it doesn't count against your multiple attack penalty, which is awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah. For skill feats, for my background, I have Courtly Graces, which makes me trained. Oh, so I can use Society to make an impression on a noble, as well as with I can use Impersonate to pretend to be a noble if I'm not one. I am one, sort of. So
do you really worship Lamashtu, the demon lord of goddesses?
Well, that's a no. I was raised. I'm lapsed Lamashtu. That's
you're lapsed Lamashtu.
You're a Knoll. You know, I was raised Orthodox Knoll. And for my other skill feat, I took Bon Mo, which is very exciting and I think very appropriate for Karazor.
Yeah, I think you'll have fun with that. Now, is this Karazor, is he sword and board? Was the original was a two-handed weapon?
Yeah, he had a big old greatsword. So,
are you still rocking that?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
And you're all strength, right? You boosted. Yeah. You maxing out strength. Okay.
Yeah.
And Matthew, would you be strength too, or would you be dex?
I chose strength. Like, I've never played a strength monk before, so I figured let's try it.
That's cool. And Joe would be charisma, and then summoner is intelligence?
Charisma as well.
Oh, charisma as well. Okay.
So we'll see who is the most charismatic in the role play.
Yes.
All right.
I'll say one of us.
I'm going back to fighter.
One of us isn't a skeleton covered in rags, so it feels like we've got our team's face right here.
God. Oh, I can't wait to see this artwork. All right, great. So I'm looking here. Obviously, ability scores, feats are starting to get rounded out. I mean, jeepers, all that's left is inventory and then Joe's spells.
I have spells too. I have spells too.
Yeah,
I
seriously might just go back to fighter.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you? Is it because I have charisma too?
Yes, and it's because I didn't want to play caster anyway. Like I didn't want to. So what kind of spells do you have? Like what is the summoner's support?
The summoner has a small spell repertoire. So the summoner is kind of like, I got a couple spells, but I mainly have a dragon.
Yeah,
you know?
So it's kind of like having another melee combatant, basically.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. I mean, the spells help. He is a spellcaster, but they're not the main thing.
And what are the social skills that you would have?
Well, I have taken society. I mean, probably I'll boost as many social skills as I can, right? I mean, because I have charisma.
Yeah, so like diplomacy and deception, something like that.
Yes, yes. Because he's like a very social guy who likes to hang out in the clubs, get bottle service, spend a lot of gold, wreck his father's prize steed while he's under the influence.
Did you take my steed out last night?
That's a scratch on my steed's.
It's a scratch on my steed.
I also like because I dump statted his intelligence. His dragon lore skill is at -1.
He doesn't know how to handle that thing.
Wait, no, I can train it. I actually don't know how many. Well, okay. I have more character sheet questions, but those can wait.
Yeah, I think our producer CJ mentioned that Eidolons start tiny, but I was looking. It seems like there are feats you could use to increase the size of your Eidolon, if size matters.
It's size definitely matters to me. They start tiny?
That's what CJ said, but
it's Lockheed.
He could be lying.
It's just like Lockheed.
CJ's wrong. CJ's wrong.
But we will get to the bottom of this before episode 1.
Jared,
Joe, are you really thinking about
I really
failing?
am, yeah. Jared,
Is it just because you don't want to do spells, or because you're afraid of Jared?
Because I don't want to do spells.
Outdueling you.
I'm not afraid of that. I know he'll outduel
Well,
me.
we don't have to have a caster, right? We could. I mean, I'm kind of a caster.
Well, I
and
guess,
then-
yeah, one of my main questions is, like, do you have detect magic, for example? Like, it would be weird if the party didn't have detect magic. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
know what? I'll take it as soon as I figure out how to add spells. I will take it. And by the way, this is me because I am technologically handicapped. I can never make. How do I turn this computer on?
For spells, if you go, I'll show you how to do all that. But I do see that you've named your character.
Yes, Rufus of Opara.
Awesome.
Okay.
Karazor, Balthazar the Mild, and Rufus of Opara.
Yes, vessel for Velthrexenbob, the great red dragon.
The great tiny red dragon.
Not tiny.
Look, he has even if he's tiny, and I'm looking this up, CJ. Even if he's tiny, he has the attitude of an ancient, evil red dragon.
I like that. Yeah, he's the spirit. No matter what size he is, he contains the spirit of the real Velthrexenbob. Joe, why don't you do Paladin like you were originally thinking? Then you'll have some casting ability. But you still can be your martial character. You can also go fighter. I don't give a shit. Whatever you want to do, man.
Skeleton Paladin.
Skelly Pals?
Skelepal.
Skender Karzi?
Skeleton Champion. Literally, Skeletal Champion.
A skeletal champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, they exist.
I didn't even think of this.
That's
very
pretty cool.
interesting.
Your
This
name
is very
could be
interesting.
Champion.
I wonder. I wanted to kind of fill the role of ranged damage dealer. You know what I mean? So because you're going to be a monk, right, Matthew? And
Yes.
Ranged Pally, Dex-based John.
I could be a ranged champion, right? Or is there
Has a knight never used a bow?
Is their key ability just strength, or can it be strength or dex?
I will look at the book. I've got it right here. Let's look.
I'm looking it up right now.
Champion!
Strength or dex.
Yeah!
There you go.
Baby.
Oh, this is interesting, because the Skelly comes with dex and charisma, which, by the way, is important for a champion. But, I mean, there's no way that he would cast heal, or there's no way that he would. I'm sorry. I'm thinking cleric. It's fine. This is
Yeah, you can't lay on hands on yourself. You'll die.
exactly. It's
There
very
must be a
weird.
thing you can do, though. You take a class feat that removes lay on hands and replaces it with something else. I'm sure you could do that so you don't just waste that altogether.
Yeah.
Still use it on us.
That's tricky.
Yeah. This
Unless
is
you can only heal negative energy. So it'd be useless to your rest of your party, but you can save yourself all day. Just lay on hands with negative energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we can work together too to find out.
This is a
something
neat idea. I like this idea.
This is
Really
fun.
cool.
I did not see this twist coming.
Got a twist. Our first twist.
First big twist.
All right, I think the last thing I want to dig into, because you guys can fill out the rest of this between sessions, is just making sure we have a good skill complement each other. Yeah, that's a sentence. Good assortment of skills that complement each other, so you don't all have one thing. So just kind of decide right now what you guys want to do. Social skills will be important, but so will acrobatics and the basics, nature, survival.
Yeah. So I as a monk, athletics and acrobatics are going to be my jam. I also
Good
get
jam.
medicine because I am a barber.
Of course, because you're a barber, right?
And I took intimidation and occultism, figuring I'm 7,000 years old. I've seen my fair share of ancient civilizations and cults and things that have come and gone. And I get surgery lore again because I'm a barber.
Cool.
Surgery lore. Okay, fantastic. That's good. Karazor, this is a character you've spent some time with. What skills do you want to lean into?
I think to go with my bon mot, I want to what is it? That's intimidation, right?
That's intimidate as well.
Yeah, so I'm gonna key on that for sure. I get society because of my noble background, so that's awesome. How many do we get? This is something that like I don't actually know because like I've never driven stick. I've only driven automatic, so I don't know. How many skills do you get trained? Like
you as a fighter, you're gonna get you're trained in your choice of acrobatics or athletics.
Right.
And then you're trained in a number of additional skills equal to 3 plus your intelligence modifier.
That's what it is. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely going to go with athletics. I'm probably going to go with stealth.
Okay, that's good. Athletics where Matthew went acrobatics. Matthew, you might want to pivot intimidate. It also doesn't hurt to have two people that can intimidate.
I'll take Jared, are you going to take diplomacy?
I was probably going to. Probably, but I don't have to.
No, that would make sense. You're the one with charisma.
Yes.
So I can take deception because I am a serial killer.
Right.
Reformed.
Well.
No, I'm reformed into the serial killer.
Yeah.
I've reformed my peace-loving and gentle ways to become a serial killer.
Just as Aurori would want it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's about bringing about the perfection of the world, and he's decided that all civilizations must end, and this current set of civilization is just ripe for destruction.
Sounds like a fun
ripe
guy.
For destruction.
Oh, Balthazar.
He's kind of going to... how is he going to talk? Yes. Hello. I'm Balthazar the Mild.
I'm Balthazar the Mild.
Yeah, that's going to be super creepy.
How do you all feel about flaying these people and leaving their skin hanging in the hangers of the closets around the town?
So the guy that does medicine on us is going to flay us.
Well, they did say that Jack the Ripper must have had some very serious medical knowledge to be able to, do all the vivisection and organ removal that he did.
That's
and
true.
It's long been my personal theory that he was an automaton.
That's right.
I mean, how can you deny the evidence? I can't argue with
that. Yeah, there's so much evidence for that.
I see some holes in nature and survival.
Don't need it.
Okay, just skip it altogether.
Not gonna need it.
I'll take nature.
I'll take survival. Just with my nose, like maybe like that will like I don't think like he was raised outdoors really at all, but like his natural abilities will lend him some ability to do survival stuff.
I like that. Okay, and Jared, if you have if your Eidolon is not very smart, you must have very limited skill points, right?
Yeah. So I think I have limited skill points because I took a 8 intelligence.
Yeah. Not that your Eidolon isn't smart, but if you have a -1 to Eidolon lore, then you probably have very. That's
no. I'm sorry. I hadn't trained it yet. So I guess I'm not at -1. But I'm trying to figure out how. Okay. So this might seem like a stupid question. But how many skill trainings do we get?
It's based on your class. It's plus your modifier. So what is your intelligence modifier? Is it -1?
-1.
Yeah, so as a summoner, my guess would be that you'd get a total of 1 because it's usually like 2 plus your intelligence modifier for like non-skill based classes. Like
so you're trained
rogues
in one
and
or more
investigators
skills.
have a lot more.
You're trained in 1 or more skills determined by your Eidolon, and then trained in a number of additional skills equal to 3 plus your intelligence modifier.
3 plus. All right, so you should get 2 skill trainings.
Okay.
But then he gets something from his Eidolon as well.
Okay.
Yes, I believe that's Arcana for the dragon, if I looked at that correctly.
All right. Yes, I got Arcana automatically. It gave me that. Okay, great. And then you're saying I get 3 more?
Plus your intelligence modifier. It's still -1.
So you
it's
get 2.
-1. So I get 2. And you guys want me to take... Let's see. You guys want me to take... Which ones did you want me to take? Because I'll take them, man.
If nature or survival help you at all, I think Skid said he was going to take survival.
I took survival.
And diplomacy was the other.
Never been outside of a city. So my character.
So neither would work for you.
Yeah, and did someone already took deception, right?
I did, but I can ditch it if you'd rather have that.
No, I'll take diplomacy, and I will take, let's see here, performance. I think that, really he's kind of into music. And
of course he is.
Really this band that I've got going, like he really thinks it's going to get off the ground soon. They're working on getting a recording space for it. So
for some reason I picture him looking like DJ Khaled.
Oh. Wow, I never, no, that's wrong.
That's not it? That's how I saw it.
It looks like it all.
No, it's not like a big, cuddly semi-rapper. No.
I watched DJ Khaled trying to water ski the other day, and he was unsuccessful.
I'm died.
Don't know why that video chose me. Glad I saw it. All right, so you got a decent smattering of skills here. A couple holes, but maybe you can fill them. Joe, you've fully gone the paladin route. Any key things you want to talk about that are getting your wiener hard? As the kids say.
No, I think I'm gonna go with the liberator end of things of the paladin, which makes sense. Yes. He was trying to get out from under the arm of this necromancer, finally got himself free, and now I think he is setting out with like two main goals. It's like set free those oppressed by others that are keeping them in places they don't want to be, and literally just find someone to have a good conversation with. Like this has been torturous for him for a very, very long time.
How long has he been trapped?
I think like 100 years.
Okay.
Like 100 years he's just been in this room fighting it, like guarding some like sacred font, like sacred fountain in one room of a dungeon.
I was gonna make the same joke.
Yeah.
Stay back!
And no matter how
years.
often he would try to like get out of the room, they're just like a force. The necromancer's power kept him in there. And so he a lot of people would lose their mind, but he kept it together. And
how long? For how long?
100 years.
100 years.
Wow.
And he is going to be primarily an archer, so he'll be like a skeletal archer champion.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Combining it all together.
I see him in a video game dungeon.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like,
totally.
And you never think about that guy. You're like, what is that guy doing when I'm not around?
What is he doing during the weekend?
Right, exactly. What's he doing when I'm not here? What's he talking about when no other adventurers are coming through? Yeah. And then somebody comes in like, oh, hey, guys, get up. Get up. Somebody's coming. We got
Showtime.
Exactly.
Takes his coffee, puts it down, and goes to work.
This is exactly where my head is at. It's like, let's examine that guy. Who is that guy?
Well, this is great. Obviously, a couple more blanks we got to fill, but we'll do that between this week and the next so that we can jump right in to the new season of Side Quest Side Sesh. Calling this episode 1 isn't really accurate. It was episode 0 of Side Quest Side Sesh season 2. Be sure to join us next week when Karazor, the Knoll two-handed weapon fighter, Balthazar the Mild, the automaton monk, Rufus of where?
Of Opara.
Rufus of Opara, the summoner.
And Velthrexen Bob.
And Velthrexen Bob, his trusty red dragon eidolon. And of course, the skeleton. Joe, would you give us a name here to take us home for the day?
Yes, I've just named my skeleton. His name is Champ Kindly.
Kindly. Skeletal liberator champion.
Skeletal archer champ Kindly.
Did he pick that himself?
Honestly, yes, he would have had to. Nobody named him. Nobody cared about him.
He had to pick his own name.
He had to pick his own. So he's like, it's short for champion, and he's like, I'm a champion. Yeah. He calls himself Champ. Like Apollo Creed, like they all call him Champ, but he named himself Champ.
Champ Kindly. Well, tune in next week when we take this new party out for a spin. I have some fun ideas on how we're going to do it. Happy birthday to us, huh? Happy birthday to the Glass Cannon Network. It all started 8 years ago. How about we do another 8?
All right. Yes!
All right. Let's do another 8.
The country will be
suspicious silence.
The country will be underwater in 8 years. We're all going to be busy fishing.
Doesn't mean we can't also do the show.
It would be just us doing it.
That's fine.
No listeners.
The world will need a laugh.
That's kind of what we expected 8 years ago.
Yeah. Tonight we'd be right back to where we expected.
Yeah.
Good night. Good night, everybody.